Imagine the coldest thing you can. Maybe it's a frosty winter morning, or perhaps it's the chill you feel when you step out into a snowstorm without a coat. Now, imagine something infinitely colder. Picture a place where even the concept of warmth is a distant memory. You're getting close to absolute zero. This is the point where cold reaches its ultimate limit. It's minus 459.67 degrees Fahrenheit, or minus 273.15 degrees Celsius, if you prefer. These numbers are so extreme they almost seem unreal. It's the bottom of the thermodynamic temperature scale. This is the point where the very essence of heat and energy ceases to exist. At absolute zero, atoms simply stop moving. Imagine every single atom in the universe coming to a standstill. No energy, no heat, just pure stillness. It's a state of perfect, unyielding calm. In reality, reaching absolute zero is impossible. Scientists have tried, but it's a goal that remains just out of reach. It's like trying to catch a beam of light or count to infinity. No matter how close you get, there's always a little bit further to go. The universe is full of sneaky little energy packets always buzzing around, making sure nothing ever truly reaches absolute zero. These energy packets are like the universe's way of keeping things lively. Think of it like this. Imagine a dance floor full of people. Everyone is moving, dancing, and having a good time. Absolute zero is like getting everyone on Earth to stop moving, all at the same time. It's an almost impossible feat. Even if you could coordinate that, there'd still be the music playing, the lights flashing. Those are like the sneaky energy packets. They keep the dance going no matter what. But for the sake of our cosmic thought experiment, let's pretend we could flick a switch and plunge Earth into the icy grip of absolute zero for a brief 5 seconds. Imagine the world suddenly freezing in an instant. What kind of havoc would this frigid visit unleash? Would everything freeze solid, or would the sudden drop in temperature cause chaos in ways we can't even imagine? Buckle up, space cadets, it's going to be a bumpy and chilly ride. The journey to understanding absolute zero is as thrilling as it is cold. So, wrap up warm and get ready to explore the coldest concept in the universe. 5 seconds may not seem like much. It's barely enough time to microwave popcorn. But at absolute zero, 5 seconds is an eternity. The first thing we'd notice is the air. Air is made of gas molecules, constantly bouncing around. At absolute zero, these molecules would freeze in place, becoming solid. The atmosphere would literally freeze solid, falling to the ground like a giant invisible blanket. This frozen air wouldn't be like snow or ice, it would be more like a super dense, transparent solid. We wouldn't be able to breathe it, see through it, or move through it. We'd be trapped beneath a sky made of solid air. Now let's talk about us. Our bodies are mostly water. At absolute zero, water doesn't just freeze, it becomes a bizarre, glass-like substance. Our cells, our organs, our very thoughts, everything would instantly freeze solid. Imagine being flash frozen in your tracks. You wouldn't feel anything, wouldn't have time to react. One moment you're sipping your coffee, the next you're a human popsicle, frozen in time. But here's the kicker. Even though we'd be frozen solid, we wouldn't shatter. See, at absolute zero, there's no vibration, no movement. Even the atoms in a glass of water are holding perfectly still. So, we'd be frozen, yes, but also strangely intact. While we're busy turning into human popsicles, the rest of Earth wouldn't fare much better. Oceans, lakes, and rivers would freeze from the surface down. Forget ice skating, we're talking about an ice layer miles thick, solid all the way down. Plants would become brittle statues, their delicate structures shattered by the sudden cold. Animals wouldn't stand a chance. It would be a mass extinction event unlike any other, all thanks to 5 seconds of extreme cold. When things get too cold to handle, here's where things get really weird. When most materials freeze, they contract, they get smaller. But at absolute zero, some materials do the opposite, they expand. Take helium for example. At absolute zero, helium becomes a superfluid, a liquid that flows without any resistance. But it also expands, pushing out with incredible force. Imagine all the helium in party balloons suddenly expanding at the same time. Now imagine that on a planetary scale. Buildings would crumble, mountains might even crack under the pressure of expanding helium. It might seem like all hope is lost, that 5 seconds at absolute zero would wipe out everything on Earth. But there might be a few survivors. Deep underground, where temperatures are more stable, some bacteria might survive. These extremophiles, as they're called, are used to harsh conditions. They might be the only living things left on our frozen planet. Even in the depths of space, where temperatures hover near absolute zero, there are clouds of gas and dust that could potentially harbor the building blocks of life. So even in the face of extreme cold, life, in some form, might find a way. Back from the brink, but not unscathed. The Earth, once a frozen wasteland, begins its slow journey back to life. After our 5-second plunge into the ultra-cold, things would start to warm up. The thawing process is gradual, almost imperceptible at first, but warm-up is a relative term. In the context of absolute zero, even the slightest increase in temperature is significant. Even a slight increase in temperature from absolute zero would still be incredibly cold by human standards. Imagine a world where the air is still frigid, biting at your skin. As the frozen air began to melt, it would create a dense, suffocating fog. This fog would blanket the land, reducing visibility and making the environment even more hostile. The oceans, slow to thaw, would remain largely frozen, their surfaces covered in a slushy mix of ice and water. Marine life, if any survived, would struggle to adapt to these new conditions. The landscape would be scarred, transformed by the expansion and contraction of materials. Mountains might crumble, and valleys could shift, creating a new, unrecognizable terrain. It would be a world recovering from a catastrophic freeze, a stark reminder of the power of extreme temperatures. The recovery process would be slow, with ecosystems taking years, if not decades, to stabilize. Humanity would face immense challenges in rebuilding and adapting to this new world. Infrastructure would need to be redesigned to withstand the harsh conditions, and communities would have to find new ways to survive. Yet amidst the devastation, there would be hope. The resilience of life, both human and natural, would shine through, proving that even in the face of extreme adversity, recovery is possible. In the aftermath of the Big Freeze, life on Earth would face a daunting challenge. The planet, once teeming with diverse ecosystems, would be reduced to a frozen wasteland. The temperature drop would be catastrophic, wiping out most life forms that cannot withstand the extreme cold. But as we've seen time and time again, life is incredibly resilient. From the depths of the ocean to the highest mountains, life has found ways to thrive in the most inhospitable environments. It finds a way to adapt, to evolve, to survive. The few species that manage to endure the Big Freeze would undergo significant evolutionary changes. The few surviving extremophiles would have the planet to themselves. These hardy microorganisms, capable of surviving in extreme conditions, would become the new pioneers of life on Earth. With no competition, they would be free to evolve and diversify, filling the ecological niches left vacant by extinct species. This process of adaptation and diversification would be slow but steady, driven by the relentless force of natural selection. Over millions of years, Earth could potentially recover, but it would be a different Earth. The ecosystems that emerge would be unlike anything we know today, shaped by the harsh conditions of a post-freeze world. The Big Freeze would be a defining moment in its history, shaping the course of evolution for eons to come. It would serve as a testament to the resilience of life and its ability to adapt to even the most extreme changes in the environment. Lessons from the Deep Freeze: a cosmic perspective. Our thought experiment, while chilling, highlights the delicate balance that allows life to flourish on Earth. It reminds us that we live in a cosmic Goldilocks zone, where conditions are just right for liquid water, for breathable air, for life as we know it. It also underscores the vastness and mystery of the universe. Out there, amidst the stars and galaxies, there are places where temperatures plummet to near absolute zero, where the laws of physics as we know them break down. Join the conversation. What are your cold, hard thoughts? So, there you have it, a 5-second plunge to absolute zero, a cosmic brain freeze of epic proportions. It's a chilling thought experiment, but one that makes you appreciate the warmth of our sun, the delicate balance of our planet, and the incredible resilience of life itself. What are your thoughts on this frosty scenario? Could anything survive such extreme cold? Would life on Earth ever be the same? Share your cold, hard thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support helps us bring more fascinating content to you. Thank you for watching.